Well, next to the runaway train at the top of the table that we call Inverness Caledonian Thistle. Their incredible start to the season couldn't even be derailed by Celtic, with both sides sharing the points at Celtic Park last weekend. Terry Butcher's side welcomed a Hearts team full of kids battling back manfully from that minus 15-point deduction they started the season with. Watching in the Highland capital for us was Rob McLean.
For the fifth game running, this is the same Inverness team. James Vincent, an impressive newcomer, playing in behind top scorer Billy Mackay. What young Hearts don't need is experienced players injured. Ryan Stevenson out long term, and suspensions. Danny Wilson and Kevin McCarthy both banned for this one. Gary Warren, calm defending. David Raven. And room out wide for Aaron Doran to pick out Billy Mackay. And he scores again, his fourth goal of the season. Hearts opened up, and you don't want to give Billy Mackay too much room inside the penalty box. McGee's throw. Patterson against Shinnie, does well. There's Walker, and the shot slipping just wide. Good response from Gary Locke's team to going behind. The long throw headed away by Draper. And that's Ross Draper again, finding Billy Mackay on the break. This could be dangerous for Hearts. It's Doran, shot blocked. Vincent and Mackay make that a double, and 5 goals in 5 games for Billy Mackay. Lethal in front of goal. Just picked his moment and curled the shot around McDonald. Brills though, finds Ross, mistake by Shinnie. Jamie Walker's in, so unlucky. How close was this to 2-1? And it would really have changed the complexion of the game. Ross Draper's cross. That's Gary Warren, and again a fraction away from 3-0. Danger not yet over. In from Mackay and wide from Vincent. Well, it was a double header this from Warren, back off the bar. Shinnie constantly on the attack. In from Foran. Chested down by Mackay, and a real chance for the hat-trick. What a mistake by Dylan McGowan. Missed this by a mile, and thankfully for Hearts, the shot straight at McDonald. Doran with the corner. Nick Ross with the cross. There's Richie Foran, saved by McDonald, and the hook shot from Mackay is blocked. And I think John Beaton, the referee, is pointing to the penalty spot. And it's a red card for Jamie Hamill, and the Hearts captain cannot believe that. I think the decision given by the assistant, Hamill says, that struck my head, not my arm, but the decision given, penalty and red card. Billy Mackay for the hat-trick. What a save by McDonald, and he pounces on the rebound. He'll never have a better chance, Billy Mackay, to seal a hat-trick.
I'm disappointed with the penalty because James Vincent takes the penalty. So I had a right go at Billy after the game saying, don't go in for this sentimental rubbish. And James Vincent said, well, I gave him the ball. So then James Vincent got a rollicking because he should take the penalty, and he will take the next penalty. So I don't care how many other people have scored. That's the way it is.
I think you've seen today, when you lose 2 players of the influence, Danny Wilson and Kevin McCarthy, it's going to be difficult. There's a couple of 16-year-olds on the bench. So it's got a big ask for the squad, but I'm not using that as an excuse. I still felt we could come up here and get 3 points. In the initial 20-25 minutes, I felt we were well in the game. And as I say, we lost 2 silly goals.
Well, let's clear up this bizarre red card incident straight away, shall we, Stuart? Jamie Hamill, it was never a red card, was it?
No, it's a real head-scratcher. I mean, a great block, actually, by Jamie Hamill. He puts his body on the line and does his job properly. And it's just his body language. He's if there's any guilt whatsoever, he's obviously a very good poker player, because, you know, he's only at the stage where the referee's standing over him when he suddenly realises, Jesus, he's going to send me off. I mean, it's absolutely incredible.
I think even if it does, you know, hit his hand, it'd still be unlucky to be sent off. I mean, he's a yard away from where the guy smashed it. And
it is denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity, but he's done it with his head.
Yeah.
it's brilliant defending, and yeah, I mean, I think the only saving grace, if you could say that, is that it was late on in the game, because you imagine the injustice Hearts would have felt if that was midway through the second half or even earlier. You know, it would have denied them a chance of getting back in the game.
I'd be very surprised if Hearts don't appeal that one, that's for sure. What did you make of this sentimentality, Mark, about the penalty situation? Billy Mackay allowed to take the penalty and it's saved. It's supposed to be James Vincent that's the penalty taker.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I can see what Terry's saying there. I mean, he's the manager, he puts these things up to be listened to by his players. But, I mean, if I was a striker on 2 goals and you get a penalty, I mean, you'd want to take the penalty, and I'm sure the guys were wanting one of their teammates to bag a hat-trick.
And he's in such a hot streak of form, isn't he?
I mean, he's been unbelievable. Carried his form on from last season, and you know, 5 games? I mean, very impressive.
Yes, Stuart, he really has just carried on from last season. What is it about him that makes him such a potent striker in the Premiership?
Well, the thing that impresses me about him is his fitness levels are incredible. You know, he's got an iron lung. I mean, you watch him and he really, you know, it's just perpetual motion. But he knows the game very well. He links up well. He's a relatively small stature, but he you know, takes a few hits up front. And he's deadly in the box. I mean, you get the ball into him in the box, and there was it wasn't just his goals, but he had some nice touches and very good finish with both feet. And you would fancy him to be close to being top scorer at the end of the season.